Welcome everyone to the second episode of Den of Geeks. As always, I am your host, John Murphy. With me as always is Tyler Tyson and Ian Benoit. I
was waiting for Tyler to go so I didn't talk over him.
I think he was waiting for you.
Yeah, of course. Every freaking...
Maybe we should establish the order here.
Okay, well, it's me first.
We'll do that next time.
Okay, fine. Next time.
I already know who we are.
Okay. All right, so for the second episode of Den of Geeks is just going basically be story time, and originally it was supposed to be the topic of times that we've almost died, but then Tyler couldn't think of any near-death experiences, so it's become memorable vacation, so that at least he could get a story time in. And then today he calls me and says, "Oh, I actually did remember a near-death experience I had."
Just one.
Just one.
Well, that's all I have.
So just fine. Just memorable vacations could be times that you almost died. Could be like that was like it's a highlight of your life. I got a couple of them, and as I said, Tyler has got a bunch of interesting stories when it involves convention.
And outside convention too.
Okay, yeah. I don't know why, but the April Fool and Loki just decided to, you know what? Let's mess with this guy. Okay. All right. So yeah, for the next hour, we're just gonna be telling maybe one or two stories from each of us of like memorable vacations. I think, and really sorry if I'm not kind of a little bit peppy. I'm a little tired because this week has been an adventure, and I had to do some adult things today. I had to be an adult. And
isn't that the bane of everyone's existence?
Yeah, pretty.
Especially millennials. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not overly peppy today either because, well, crap day at work, so I'm gonna stay online. So.
Okay. I'll go first, and I don't know what. I'll start off with a happy one. And
Yay!
we'll go with
We need it.
we'll go with that. We'll go with Tyler. Then it'll be Tyler, and then Ian will save you. We'll save yours for last because I've only heard.
Why? Because mine was an adventure.
Yes, and so that's probably gonna take up. That's gonna take up a little bit of time.
Probably. I've already got all the pictures pulled up over here, so I can remember what happened.
I just don't know which time to pick.
You don't know which. You said you had.
Give it a title, and then pick the best title. Oh, that's
Okay.
right. Everyone
Okay.
has to title their stories.
Okay, all right. So the title of my story is, of course, my first ever convention, and I went with Tyler and several other friends from community college. We were in the anime club, and
It took a lot of persuasion to get him to go off.
took me.
Yes,
I guess so. Yeah.
I had to practically drag him.
Right. Yeah. So we go to Anime Iowa, and it was 2012, and there was some nice guests there. The build up to that was very nice. Would hang out with Tyler over at his apartment. We'd watch some anime from his collection. Some of the other guys from Anime Club would come by, and we were just talking, just always talking about what we're gonna do. And it's my first convention, so there's like possibilities are endless. And I know, I think the only reason that I wanted to go was because Johnny Young Bosch was going to be there. Was going to be there, right? Yeah, that was the only reason. I'll get to why in a minute. Well, actually, no, I'll get to that one now. The reason why I was excited to see Johnny Young Bosch is because, well, as a kid, I knew him as a Power Ranger. He was the second Black Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I loved that as a kid. I still love it now. And in the anime world, he's the voice of Ichigo Kurosaki in Bleach, Vash the Stampede in Trigun. Really great Western anime with a Western feel to it. And so it was like, oh, Power Ranger, I gotta go. And so this is what made my first experience memorable. Not only did we we had a really great time meeting Greg Aries, who apparently remembered that I was like filming around, and he called me YouTube. Hi YouTube, how you doing? And Josh Greeley, who just honestly, he was a really fun guy.
Blast.
It was a
He's
blast.
a blast.
But it was, let's see, was it the first day or the day before? Did we get to Coralville the day before, Tyler?
Yes, we did.
The day before. Okay, it was the day before the convention. And I don't know why I went down, probably to just scope the place out so I don't get lost. And when I go back into the elevator, a couple more people come in. I look to my right, and I see that it is Johnny Young Bosch standing right next to me, about a couple of inches shorter than me, so I have to look down a little bit. Okay, so for someone who I've got height advantage of, he can still kick my ass because he's a martial arts trained.
You're good. I'm just trying to set this stupid thing up on the tripod. There we go.
So, me wearing a Power Rangers t-shirt, standing next to a Power Ranger. You're probably expecting me to just go to geek out, go all Deku nerd on him. First I calmed myself, turned to him and played it out like this. Mr. Bosch, You go, yes? He goes, oh my God, it's really nice to meet you. My name's John Murphy. I'm a Power Ranger fan, can't wait to see you. He goes, oh, yeah, hope you like Iowa. And I get off the elevator. He's still riding up because he lives on the top floor, and with his, his band is visiting. He has a band.
Yep.
When the doors close, I go.
That's all I ever heard about that weekend was his fated encounter with Johnny on Bosch.
And is that all John did? He just geeked out for the rest of the trip?
Oh yeah, it was pretty much that. Though, to be fair, I kind of had a similar encounter with a Power Ranger actor, but he was Lord Zed, the biggest king of evil. And here's the funny part: I didn't even recognize him. No, I was in the computer room at the hotel, logged in MySpace, all things, and I was checking some messages. This guy comes up there like, "Hey, can I use this computer?" Oh yeah, sure.
Dude, you're frozen.
No.
That.
Oh no. Hold on. Where was I?
You were talking about the.
I heard computer room.
Yeah, you were in the computer room. Someone asked. Excuse me, can I use this?
This old-looking man comes in. He's like, "Hey, can I use this? I need the printer." I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And it's like, "Oh, hope everything goes okay for you, man." Yes, I addressed the Lord of Darkness as man. Oh God. But
that's like addressing Thanos as dude.
But yeah, otherwise that was my fated encounter with a Power Ranger actor.
and that's not even your memorable vacation story, is it? No, he's got more, and each one more impressive than the next.
It tries to top itself, not gonna lie.
Okay, so that's the end of my story of my memorable vacation. So now, Tyler, it's up to you. What's the name of this story?
The name of this story is The Time I Rented a U-Haul for a Set of Wheels to Catch My Flight.
Hey, to quote Ian Malcolm, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
I don't think that's what it was meant for, though.
I'm attempting a reference. I never said where he had to go. He just had to go.
I mean, you're not wrong. I had to go. And it was... Okay, if you want to know about my life, it's a lot of flip-flopping of luck. Lady Luck both loves me and hates me.
Oh boy, wait till you hear his POS car.
That's a story for another time.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, during this time, I was living in Florida, and I was pretty stressed because, living in Florida sucks when you don't have enough money income. It took me and my wife, both our incomes, just to live in the apartment we're in. That's how expensive rent is. Rent and utilities. And so I needed a break. I was like, I need to visit my family. She's like, okay, yeah, let's visit your family. We booked a flight. Now, this is where it all starts, just the booking, because while we were trying to book the flight, I could not find my debit card. And we ended up having to use her debit card to book the flight and the rental. No problems, right? We got paid, we got our flight tickets. Everything's a go. So next day, her parents give us a ride to the airport. And we arrive, got on the plane, no problems, no snooze, as we coasted across the United States to the Midwest, boring old Midwest, all the way to Minneapolis. Now our troubles began in Minneapolis. We touch down, we get off. We go to attempt to get the car, the rental. Unfortunately, they have a policy here. The policy is the driver has to be the one to match the debit. My wife doesn't have a driver's license. So they can't let us have the rental, even though I have a license, I know how to drive, but because it's not on my card, they won't let us.
You hear this?
Now, remember, Lady Luck loves me and hates me. I had apparently the foresight to a couple days before, I called up my friend Sergio, and I'm like, hey, Serge, it's been a long time since you and me got to see Joe. You want to come up to Minneapolis so we can hang out before we go back down to Sioux City? Yeah. So when we got to Minneapolis, I had a friend waiting for me to hang out with me and the other friend who lives in Minneapolis. And he's from the same town I'm from. So we were lucky to get a ride back to where I'm, Lamar's. Now, unfortunately, he cannot give us the ride back because he works. But we have a week, and I thought a week this should be enough. We should be able to figure out the situation by then. And so the week goes by. I'm asking Mom, my sisters, some friends, and they're like, "Can't do it. Sorry." And anxiety starts to build as it's clicking closer to Monday.
Oh God, yeah. I know what that's like.
So Sunday arrives, and we have no ride to catch our flight. So, while me and my wife were brainstorming, I'm driving my mom's car, and we're in Sioux City trying to figure out if any of her family members can give us a ride. She looks at a billboard, and she goes, "You think we can rent a U-Haul to catch our flight?" And I'm like, Could we? Did he have the same rental policy as the other one? Because we tried the other rental service in Sioux City, and they're like, same policy, no can do. But would a moving truck company have that same policy? I wonder.
Only one way to find out.
So I ring them up, and they're like, yeah, she can pay and you can still drive. No problems. Sweet! I'm safe! You can pick it up tomorrow. Oh. What would you like to come in? The earliest. What is the earliest you can open? 9 o'clock. Oh God, I gotta get there at 9, pick up the truck, and get to my flight before 3. It's a 4.5-hour drive.
I'm over here dying.
Oh God.
I know. We needed this, didn't we, John?
Yes, we did. Oh my God, you were right. Lady Luck just loves you and hates you at the same time. I think she particularly wanted you to just drive you insane that day.
So, the story thickens here because my mom drives me to the place where. No, I was supposed to pick up the truck. Now, unfortunately, I can't just grab the truck. No, I have to meet with a person, talk about everything.
Oh God!
Go over applications, paperwork, yada yada yada.
Just imagine you going.
And they're like, "Oh, you're moving from Florida to Minneapolis?" And yes, I had to say I was moving to Minneapolis. I was moving to Minneapolis, and I put down my friend who we hang out at Minneapolis, his address. So they have something to send mail to. And they're like, okay, everything looks in order. My mom tries to strike up conversation, and she almost kind of blew the cover of it.
God.
I was like, Mom, everything's fine. And so they give us the keys. I hopped in the thing and just down to the highway. My mom's following me. We pulled over quickly to the side of the highway. Mom pulls over behind us. Me and Yana go to the car, grab our luggage, open up the freaking U-Haul and throw our luggage in there. This big open box with only 2 bags of luggage.
Just a bit overkill.
Close the door, get in, and I speed like a bat out of hell.
Oh boy, so glad it wasn't windy that day.
Oh,
I'll bet. Was it windy that day?
I don't remember, but there was other obstacles to overcome.
oh, good lord.
Roadkill, drivers from Nebraska, drivers from South Dakota.
So, as I mentioned, I'm driving with no regard to speed at this point because we got a flight to catch. And we left at 10, and I got to board this thing by 3 o'clock. And if we don't board this thing, we're screwed. We don't have enough money to purchase a plane ticket and afford next month's rent.
Oh boy.
And so, yeah, the pressure. And so, like, I'm freaking driving, going from 70, 80, 60, 70, 80 on this big ass thing. And I'm following the GPS. I'm like, and road construction.
Oh no.
If it's anything like the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation here, it's bad.
Midwest road construction freaking sucks.
There's a
No,
project.
Ian, this is how bad Midwest road construction. It could be just Midwest or just an Iowa thing, but we count it as a season.
You only have a season? Us, it's constant. Our roads are still shit.
Oh, well then
We
you
have,
got us beat.
We have fall, winter, spring, road construction, summer. But
Second winter.
I had to go take a detour, and I was livid. I was so livid, like I was pushing this thing to the brink it can go. I was pushing this big ass thing as fast as she could go possibly. We get to Minneapolis, 2:30.
Please
Okay.
tell me.
Half hour before your flight.
Please tell me it's all downhill from here. You're not saying
Okay,
it.
hold on.
You're
We
not.
get there. Awesome. Like,
No, dude, you're breaking.
Dude,
You're breaking up. You're gonna.
that.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Something going on with your internet?
I don't know. But okay, so we get there to where we have to drop off the U-Haul. Okay? And I'm freaking out because of course on the way I had to eat. And in the process of trying to empty out the things, all the food spilled. And it has to be as it was before we entered it. Those are the policies. We cleaned it up as fast as we could. We go inside the building, get the guy. The guy literally sees us opening the thing and grab our luggage and call Uber to go to the airport. And he's just like, all right, shrugs his shoulder and walks back in.
It's not his job. He doesn't get paid to worry about it.
Yeah. So, this guy, after we tell him our plight, like, just get us to the airport quickly. No, we go to the airport. Now, he takes the quickest route there. And he manages to get us to the airport. And as we get into the airport, I was dreading because airport security.
Oh, that's right.
The TSA.
And I'm like I'm waiting in line, looking at my watch, waiting in line. I'm like, come on, go quicker. And by the time we got through and we found our terminal, they were about to end the boarding. And
Run!
we rushed in, and we're like, we made it. By God, we made it.
Photo finish.
I have a lot of close calls in my life, particularly on projects or things, involving, getting on time on certain events. This is not one I want to do again. And the rest of that flight, I was just relaxing, trying to wind down.
And yes, and to add insult to injury, the in-flight movie was Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ugh.
No, I don't know. He didn't tell me what the in-flight movie was. He probably felt. I think Tyler might have fallen asleep after all of that. I would.
I did. Oh, like it was just so draining after that day. I was like, I passed out on the flight, and by the time we got to Florida, my in-laws picked us up, and I asked them, take us to a freaking Waffle House, please. And they did. And yes, that's the end to the time I rent a U-Haul for a set of wheels to catch a flight story.
Okay.
It almost sounds exact. That sounds like your spiritual experience to planes, trains, and automobiles. It
felt like that.
It felt like that was your movie compressed in about a week, but the main movie was just that morning.
Yeah, the main movie was that morning, like Sunday and Monday.
Hey Tyler, you want to book a flight?
I don't.
Depends where we're going, and I'll be using my debit card this time.
Booking a flight would have been a lot easier than my adventure. Oh, jeez.
All right, Ian, you kind of mentioned this, but before off camera. But what is the title of this story?
Two deaf idiots get lost in the desert, also known as my, in parentheses, miss, end parentheses, adventures in Arizona.
Oh, Misadventure sounds like a wonderful time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Okay, well, in 2019, let's preface this. 2018, we record the very special and very watchable, despite John's audio problems, review of How to Train Your Dragon. Go watch that.
Wait, you say 2019? Wait, 2019?
2018. Preface 2018, December 2018.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that.
It was December 2018.
Which How to Train Your Dragon was that?
The first one.
I thought we did that in. We recorded it, but it was released in January.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we record that. It goes off without a hitch. Shortly after, I realized, oh shit, I have a trip coming up, and I don't know if I'll have internet. So John and I record the review for the second movie. We couldn't get Tyler.
I believe I was in Florida at that time.
Probably. So we record that. Everything seems to be going smoothly. Because we did that because, as I said, I had a trip coming up. So we go. And summarizing, I got to go to Arizona for 2 months. It was not my idea.
Well, whose idea was it?
The initial trip idea was my grandfather's.
That sounds like fun.
And it was also not my idea to go. It was not his idea for me to go.
Whose idea was it for you to go?
His wife, my grandmother. She wanted me to go and, quote, keep an eye on him.
Oh, that sounds like a fun time already.
Oh yeah, a nice family vacation. Babysitting.
No, is it starting to sound like the start of National Lampoon?
I guess senior sitting.
This is starting to sound like the start of National Lampoon.
National Lampoon is a pretty good analogy as to how our adventure went.
Which one? The just vacation?
I would say European.
Okay, so we leave. It goes without a hitch. We stop in Kentucky for dinner.
Ooh, got some fried chicken over there?
No, we hit Denny's.
Kind of a... Is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
I don't know, and I didn't care because I was hungry, and it was 7 o'clock. I have it right here. Guess how much gas was?
Probably cheaper than it is now.
A lot cheaper. $1.85 a gallon.
Oh, remember those days?
2019. So we go. Everything's fine. Guess how we're obviously, if I know gas prices, we're driving from Pennsylvania to Arizona. Not exactly cross country, but regardless. Roughly a little over 2,000 miles.
Now, I need context for that. Tyler, how many miles was our trip from Sioux City to Detroit for Youmacon?
I don't know. Do I look like a human calculator?
You got the glasses for one.
No.
John, look at your screen. We're all wearing glasses.
Are you sure?
I don't know, though.
Okay.
Regardless.
Okay, so just from Pennsylvania to Arizona, that for me, the trip to Detroit was very long. This feels like 4 of them.
It sounds like the same length. It sounds like the same length of me driving a Penske truck moving from Iowa to Florida.
Oh God, yes.
Roughly the same, yeah. How long did that take you?
That took me, depends on which version. I got 2 versions, moving up, moving down, moving back up. Moving down took me 3.5 days.
Did you stop?
Nope.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah. From Halifax, Pennsylvania, which is the closest town to me, I live out in the sticks, to our destination, middle of Arizona, towards the southern border, but not too close, not near Phoenix. It took precisely, according to the map, 72 hours. Took us almost 4 days because we had to stop here and there. So, yeah, about 3.5 days because my grandfather hardly sleeps. So, the trip out was interesting. Let's just say that's
interesting is code phrase for shit's about to go down.
Believe it or not, the trip out there was the least eventful.
I believe it.
Because we get out there, okay, so we get to our destination. A little town, not even a town, like it's a speck in the middle of the desert.
Oh, like perfection?
Yes. Almost exactly like perfection. This little town is called Wickiup.
It sounds like it needs a wake up.
Yes. It is it had a couple campsites for trailers and camper vans and whatnot, a couple gas stations, and 2 restaurants. No, I lie. 3 restaurants. No houses. I lie. There was 1 house. There was 1 house.
I lied.
And and the people that lived in that house owned one of the campsites.
I lied. They own 2 campsites.
So we get there. The desert is weird. You ever been to the desert?
No, been in the mountains.
I was in both.
Which mountains?
The Rockies.
Yeah, that's where I
That
was.
reminds me of the time I went to the Rockies.
Where were you in the Rockies?
There was a wildfire from California making its way to Denver.
Fun.
And I have a picture of that. I could see the smoke, covering the sky.
Sounds like a party. Yeah, I was in the Rockies too.
I'm pretty sure the firefighters battling the wildfire, they were at least trying to fight it, but they were going like, hey dude, I can make a rainbow.
Oh God.
Because I don't want to explain the joke. If you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Double rainbow all the way, bro.
Okay, so
Anyway,
I'm still trying to. It just dawned on me: is the second deaf idiot your grandfather?
yes.
I can't imagine who the first is.
To explain that, I'm hard of hearing. I make no bones about it. I have a difficult time hearing. I always have. My grandfather was in Vietnam.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
So
Here's
let
a
me
big,
guess: tinnitus.
yeah. So he can't
I
hear
thought
worth
so.
shit either. And I have the better hearing of the 2 of us. So we get to Arizona. We get to Wickiup. We take a break. We take a week, and we just try to recuperate from being in a 1-wheel drive pickup truck,
Oh God.
almost cross country, hauling a trailer. And
Okay,
so,
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
take a week to relax because, we slept in the truck. So we get there, we relax. And the reason we were in Arizona, of all places in this lovely continent of North America, was because my grandfather likes to prospect for gold.
Oh, God.
What?
It's gold. There's gold here.
Ooh.
And there is gold in Arizona,
I did not
If
know
you-
this.
if you know where to look. He bought a parcel of land in the desert.
Which is why your grandma asked you to look after him.
Yes.
He probably-
This is only part of why.
And, this
We
is
haven't even gotten to trying to find the damn land.
Okay,
This,
okay.
We
okay.
don't know where it is.
Guys,
This
I'm
su-
picturing 2 deaf idiots in a desert looking for the road to El Dorado here. They're like, do you see the rock?
I now understand why going to Arizona, of course, looking for gold. That Tombstone was a silver boom town back in the days of the Old West.
Yeah.
Tombstone, Arizona. Yeah,
It would have been easier to find Tombstone.
the sound, and from the story, it seems to sort of comes across that you both almost found it too.
Oh, geez,
One for
we
each-
haven't e-
one for each
I
of
haven't
you.
even gotten started yet. So next project for us finding the damn place. Because we were in Wickiup, which is the closest town to it. The nearest, quote unquote, town / city is Kingman, which is roughly a little over 50 miles north. There is nothing between Wickiup and Kingman except desert.
Oh,
on a highway.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Tyler, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Sounds like the sand version of Nebraska.
Yep.
So we start looking. We follow the directions based on the guy that sold my grandfather the gold claim. One of the gold claims. My grandfather bought 2. But let's just focus on this one, because this is the one we found while I was there. He went back for the second one without me because I had work. So we start looking for it. We drive off of the highway on a dirt road for about 25 miles.
25 miles.
25 miles off the highway into the desert on a dirt road.
Okay.
You can guess how well this is starting out. We go to a certain quote unquote intersection. We didn't know it was an intersection, and we turn right. That is the wrong way to go, as we found out. So we go up a road called Coyote Springs. Good luck finding it, you won't. And we park. I pull out the GPS and I say, and it points south. And I'm like, oh, okay. So let's just head this way and we'll run into it. As we walk into the desert on ATV trails through the dunes / canyons at this point, the GPS pings. Guess how far away the claim is?
How far?
7 miles.
What?
It is 7 miles away, and we are on foot.
Oh my god!
In the desert, mind you.
Did you have water?
I had a satchel with a hand pick. No water, no food.
And you walked how many miles before the GPS?
We only walked about a mile at that point.
Okay.
So that pings. We walk another mile, and like, you know what? We're not doing this for our first time out. So we turn around. We miss the path that we took to get in.
Oh,
we walked right past it. We ended up getting lost our first day out in the desert. Not just in the desert in Arizona, about 20, 30 miles from the nearest highway, but we got lost in a canyon system.
What?
All because we missed the little path that we took. See why I said 2 deaf idiots?
Are you sure it's not 2 blind idiots?
It's the desert. We're not from the desert. We're from Pennsylvania. Everything looks the same.
I mean, it's not that you couldn't hear where you were going. You couldn't see where you're going.
We didn't. So we walk and we walk up into this canyon, going farther and farther from the claim. The claim was south. We were going north into the canyon. So we're like, eventually we stop and like, we never came this way, did we? No, we didn't. So
no, we didn't.
You know that scene from Avatar: The Last Airbender where Sokka drinks cactus juice?
Oh God, no, you didn't.
Don't tell me.
I did.
And
I was thirsty.
Did you
So
hallucinate?
that's what we want to know.
doesn't do what it did in the show.
Okay.
Oh,
But I now know that you shouldn't drink cactus juice
Why?
why?
because it contains a lot of pathogens
Oh.
and germs.
Mm.
Nothing happened though. Nothing happened to me. It was fine. I was fine.
Okay.
But so we turn around. Luckily, my grandfather had a shovel.
A shovel?
A shovel
Was it-
that he
Oh,
was
great. We can
using-
dig our grave.
Well, did he name this shovel? No, Vieira.
No, he was using the shovel as a walking stick. So we figured out, hey, if we just follow the shovel blade marks through the sand back, we'll eventually find our way back to the truck.
Oh.
So we did that. And
Okay.
we eventually found our way back to the damn truck. This first day is not over.
Oh God.
Because-
that's just the first.
The first day is almost over. Almost over. A bit more context to show how dire of a situation we were in. My grandfather's diabetic.
Oh. Oh God. Oh God.
So we get to the truck and we go back to our camper in Wickiup at the campsite and we just crash because we hiked at least 7 miles, not even towards the claim, but away from it and back to the truck. And he's diabetic and we didn't have any water with him.
Oh my God.
Luckily, I shouldn't do that. We did have water with us, and we did have food with us, but we left it in the truck.
Ooh, this is just sounding better by the day.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, this is the first day we go out to look for the claim. And I was out there for 2 months.
Oh God.
Buckle in, viewers. Let me go here. See.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to find the conversation in December 2018. No,
Not
but
December 2018, January 2019.
yeah.
That's when we head out. So, after all that, we get home, we crash. We decide to do the intelligent thing the next day and not go out into the desert blind, but we do some research.
You got a map?
Geotagging?
We had the geotag, we had the coordinates to the claim.
Okay.
We just didn't know how to get there.
Ah.
The GPS doesn't work that way. Our GPS was just, this is how far away you are. This is the direction you need to go in. So we spend the next several weeks going out into the desert and exploring. Just near blindly exploring. We get out of the truck and we walk out into the desert. We never left the site of the truck or the road ever again.
Okay.
It's that once burned, 5 times scarred.
Ooh.
So it was fun. So eventually, and while we were out there, we noticed some of the local wildlife. Now, or signs of local wildlife. What wildlife do you think lives in Arizona? Keep in mind, we're in the winter.
I'm guessing some snakes, maybe some, and several other families of lizards. Probably some bugs. Please God, please don't tell me there's like a really big spider there. Not like
I don't know. Yeah, there's scorpions. There's scorpions, spiders, coyotes,
Rattlesnakes, a whole bunch of different
Rattlesnakes.
snakes, lizards.
Yep.
Oh, maybe a couple rodents there.
Yep, there was rodents. There's jackrabbits. In Arizona, the first piece of wildlife we noticed while we were out in the middle of nowhere even more so than we were in town, were wild burrows.
Burrows?
Wild burrows.
I have never heard of burrows being wild.
Yeah.
It's like cows.
Where have I?
It's like cows. I mean, you don't really see cows in the wild.
Wild cows.
I did.
I see wild pigs.
I don't see. I don't even see.
There's two.
I don't
ran
even
into some
see wild.
peccaries.
I don't even see wild pigs. I don't see wild chickens. And I've traveled. Okay, I'm not confined. I'm not confined. I have traveled and never seen wild wild sheep, wild cows, not even a wild horse, or wild chickens. So a wild burrow is just like, whoa.
Yeah, no, we saw quite a few signs of wild burrows out there. Apparently, it's quite common. They're just very skittish. So that was the first, big wildlife I saw. Well, out there, I also saw, roadrunners, hawks. Yes, I ran across the damn highway. We saw
like the
wildlife.
Yeah, wasn't it a roadrunner that stranded our two heroes in Claw? Or was that a dingo? Or a coyote, I mean.
I think it was a coyote, yeah.
Okay.
But it's such a weird place. But eventually, through all our trials and getting occasionally semi-lost, never as lost as we did day one, we were out there, we eventually give up temporarily. And we decide that, you know what, we're getting low on supplies. We got to go get some food. So we go to Kingman, which is basically like a downtown of any city ever. You got malls, a Walmart, standard stores that you see.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our break. That's our gallivant back into this strange thing known as civilization.
This small town.
Yeah, and then we go back. It turns into, like I said, exploring near the road. Eventually, we had the brilliant idea to load the ATV into the back of the pickup truck.
Does it have enough gas?
It does have enough gas. See here, So we go out, and it's a weird time out there. And once again, we start looking for the claim. We gallivant off a little ways on the ATV, and we look around. You ever step on a cactus?
No, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot like, well, stepping on a very pin-cushiony Lego.
All I can say is don't.
Yeah. I've gotten a couple burrs, stuck to my socks, but that's about it.
That's nothing. I'd take burrs any day. Yeah, there's some big cacti out there, some small cacti. Those are the ones you want to watch out for. Big ones are fine. You can avoid those.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there were small ones.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. The cacti out there range from about this tall to higher than a telephone pole. Big ass cacti.
Saguaro cactus?
Saguaros, yeah. And so we start looking again. We check out the cacti. We take a couple pictures of my grandfather next to some of the cactus. And, some of those are mean, some of them are nice. And, we avoid all of them. So eventually, we realize that we're not alone in the desert.
Who's accompanying you?
A serial killer, I'll bet.
No, adventure seekers.
Ooh.
Oh, like the nomads? Those nomads from Avatar?
No.
Treasure seekers.
Not even close. There's just people that like to take their dune bugs out into the desert.
Oh.
And it's a thing people do apparently.
Oh.
So that was cool. They never offered us any help. So eventually, it rains. It rains for 4 days
Oh.
in Arizona, where there's not a lot of ground that likes to absorb water.
So it's like a flood. Is a
Yeah.
flood? A flood is the most probable thing to happen. Is most likely.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The road we take to go back to where we're looking for the claim flooded.
Oh.
So my grandfather says, "Oh, we'll just drive right across it." I said, "I don't think that should. Maybe we should just go back and take the other road."
He didn't.
He said-
He didn't though. Anyway, I can already guess. He already tried. I just saw a movie last night where the hero's truck, which is fitted for that, drives across a river. It's a little shallow, and the cars decide to follow him, thinking that. I mean, it was kind of funny to just go follow that guy. If it works for his truck, it'll work for ours. Hey, why am I not going?
Yes.
That somehow relates to the story in a strange way. So we start driving across this flooded road, and the flood is basically a small river that forms in what's called a wash, basically a dry stream bed that fills up with water and it turns into a river. We try to cross that.
Tried.
Ever try to? Yes, tried. We got 5 feet from the bank.
And then
I think I got a picture of it.
5 feet from the bank, and then the river just carried you down.
Not even 5 feet. 2 feet. 2 feet from the bank. We don't float along with the water. We don't do that. Thank goodness.
Okay, that's
It's not an
Instead,
float.
no floating.
no float. Instead, truck sink.
Truck. The truck. How high was that little river?
Where we were.
Yes.
It's only about this deep or so. And
So
truck
about
sink.
So I'd say about 2 feet, roughly, maybe
About
a
a foot
foot.
and a half, 2 feet. Foot and
Okay.
a half. And we sink. We sink below that foot and a half water.
Ooh.
You know
I'm
what quicksand is?
I'm-
Let me guess.
I take it this
the
is
sand mixed with water does not make a good solid foundation.
You know what quicksand is?
Yes. Funnily enough, it's not really that quick.
No, but if you try to drive over it, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So we drive in and we start sinking almost immediately. Because our
Again.
one-wheel drive pickup does not have the power to push through. So we get out. My grandfather gets a shovel, his trusty shovel, mentioned previously, and tries to dig it out in the flooded creek bed.
So far, your grandfather is kind of proving to be a bigger idiot than you. At least you had some sense. You didn't want to come along on this trip.
I told him not to drive into the creek bed. I told him not to.
Mm-hmm. You are the voice of reason, and he's just going, nope, I do me.
Yeah.
I got it.
I got this.
Yeah, so he starts trying to shovel the truck out. which makes it sink more.
Does he sink this as snow? Does he
I
sink
don't know. Eventually,
like, if I dig out the sand, which is like snow here, it'll go along.
Oh, God.
keep in mind,
There's
we're
not just
in
it's not just
water as well.
yes, I was gonna say there's not just water. There's not just sand. There's water. I mean, where's it? I mean, and I got the feeling that he's not even flinging it far enough so that it's away. He's just going like.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh, God.
So he tries this. Truck's sinking lower because, you know, you're lowering the foundation, and the water's maintaining a steady height.
Yep.
The water is now in the undercarriage.
Okay, I'm right now. I'm thinking Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers, and their vehicle sinking.
Pretty much, yeah. So eventually, I have to step back and take a picture for my grandmother because what the hell did she get me into? I'm gonna die out here. So keep in mind, at about this point, we're about 15 miles from the highway.
Oh, God.
We ain't walking that. At least I am. He's not. But then, across the river, on the horizon, comes our saviors, our guardian angels.
The adventure seekers.
Oh, these are more than adventure seekers. These are beefed up. Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of beefed up vehicles, but these two are beefed up Jeep Wranglers. They pull up to the creek and cross it, no problem, because they're beefed up for it. And then they stop on the other side, right next to our flooded truck. Oh, before I should add, before they show up, we try our four-wheeler to winch it out.
And that didn't work.
Four-wheeler started sinking in the sand. So that didn't work, so we stopped that quick. So it's one of the so yeah, the Jeeps show up and they say, "Hey, you guys need some help." Like,
we're just gonna let it cool off.
It's one of those weird. So they help us out. They hook our ball hitch up to a winch and they haul us out. Thank goodness. They say, "You guys should be a bit more careful." Like, thanks. I know.
Thanks for the
Tip
tip.
to him. Yeah. So we back up. We decide to, like, you know what? Screw it. Our truck's not cut out for this. So we turn around and we go back. As we're turning around to go away.
Oh
Oh,
no!
please don't. No.
Did he go back in?
No. He has to back up off of the road.
He gets
Roads
stuck.
are made out of. No. They get stuck again.
Oh,
In the sand. In the dry sand.
Mm.
It sounds
knew
like
it.
the desert hates you.
I knew it. I knew it.
We get out, though. It's fine. We get out. Because instead of shoveling the sand away, we find rocks and we jam it under the tires. That way we can get some traction.
Smart.
Smart.
That was my idea. So after that, we decide, you know what? Let's take the other road. You think, Grandpa? That was my idea. So we take the other road. At this point, it's still morning. Okay.
I'd say if it was still morning and that happened, I would go, okay, that's lunch. And probably crack open a beer.
That wouldn't have worked because we were still trying to shovel the truck out at 9 a.m. So we turn around and we get back towards where we're looking for the clan. We don't find it. But after all of that whole adventure, I decide, you know what? Well, my grandfather went to sleep because he goes to bed early. I stay up for a bit, and I decide, you know what? After today, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go out and buy lunch or dinner at this point because screw this day. So I just get myself a roast beef sub sandwich. I just get one of those at the local restaurant and just like, that's all I can do at this point.
Fair
Keep
enough.
in mind, I've been out here for almost a month at this point, and we still have not found the damn claim.
Oh my god.
Did the guy that sold it not even leave a map with dotted lines and an X to it?
He left us coordinates. So after that, the next day we say, you know what? Let's go and try to find the other claim. Because we're clearly not having any luck here. So we go south. And we go west. And we start looking around in essentially pine forest in Arizona. Once you go high enough up in elevation, you get a biome change, and it changes from desert to basically New England pine forest.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And after being in the desert for almost a month, it was wonderful.
You kiss the ground, you kiss the trees. I'll bet you kissed the squirrels, and they were like, "The fuck is this guy?"
Oh my! It was so nice to be around trees and actual dirt and pine needles again. Not
kissing the
actual
pine,
dirt, not sand.
kissing the
and
pine,
cacti.
kissing the pine. I'm just imagining Ian kissing the pine trees after just seeing nothing but sand.
I'm picturing that too.
I'm just thinking, oh, it hurts, but it feels so good.
Yes. And after that, we decide, you know what? Well, we didn't find that claim either. And
Did you ever
we
find a
decide,
claim?
yes, we did find a claim, and it was ours.
Okay.
Eventually, well, now through all this time, I'm doing a bunch of research whenever we have a day off and whenever he's going out by himself. Stupid, I know.
You let your diabetic grandpa go out into the desert alone.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. He says he was going to find, he told me to stay at the camp, which had Wi-Fi. Because I was texting you, John, while I was out there.
Yeah.
So he goes out by himself to try to find this claim. I stay in the camper doing a bunch of research on the history of, mining in Arizona, trying to find a glimmer of evidence for this area.
A glimmer of evidence.
I found nothing. Nothing in that area. So eventually he comes back one day, this beaming smile on his face, and he says, I found the damn thing.
Took long enough.
We got out there at January 11th or 12th. We found it January 26th. Screw all of this.
Screw all of this.
I hated it so much. So we find it, and it's the weirdest place ever. It was essentially an old mining camp. So yes, we did find our land. Instead of taking the right path, about 100 feet before the right path that we took initially, we had to turn left.
Really?
Yes. Like I said, screw all of this. And apparently this guardian angel guy, I don't know who he was, neither of us found him again. And he said, oh, you're looking for that road? Oh, it splits off here as well.
My God.
We were such bumbling idiots. We took the wrong road. Or we took the right road, but we turned the wrong way. So we find it. Thank goodness, because I was about ready to just give up and turn around and go back to Pennsylvania because I hated this. I was getting cacti needles and thorns through my shoes, through the bottom of my shoes into my feet every goddamn day. And it's just, I hated it so much. So we find it because we were idiots and we needed somebody to help, even though we had the GPS coordinates.
Oh my God.
However,
Sounds
the
like
road to get...
It sounds like the comedy Crank Up to 11 for the Road to El Dorado Desert Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh God.
However, the road to get back to the claim was not maintained. Well, I shouldn't say that. It has been used by those aforementioned adventure seekers on their dune bugs. That's about all it was used for the past, at this point, 90 years. In the desert with torrential downpours every so often in the winter. So, road is not maintained. So, but we get to pick up back to eventually scraping the bottom along the, roads that slant like this with tire tracks here and here. So, we get there. We look around. We realize, hey, this is the claim. Here's the goddamn sign for the claim. There was a sign for the claim.
There was a sign.
There was a sign.
There was a sign at the claim that had the previous owner's name on it and said transferred ownership to my grandfather's name.
Oh boy.
Granted, the sign was, 7 miles off of the road. So, fat lot of good that did us in the opposite direction. But we find it, everything's good, and we realize, hey, we can get our equipment back here and start looking for gold. That's not the first thing we did.
What was the first thing you did?
We walk around in an abandoned mining camp with mine shafts.
Okay, how many? So far, this story is like potential for like 3 movies, in two different genres.
A survival horror.
Yeah, it's a horror
and a
movie.
comedy.
Yes,
Hey.
a horror movie, a comedy.
Okay. Slender Man, but Chupacabra edition.
I would not have been surprised. But anyway, we get to the claim. There's mine shaft every so often. You have 2 idiots around mine shaft. What's the first thing we do?
You go down.
Oh, hold on. I'll bet you go, hello.
No, the first thing I do is kick a rock down. And since this first one we find is, an 80-foot drop, we decide, you know what? Let's stay away from that one.
Good plan.
Let's go in this one.
With no walkie-talkies or anything to communicate with the outside, I'm guessing mine shafts block signals.
Yeah. We didn't have hard hats. We didn't have any safety equipment whatsoever. We didn't have any tools. We had my cell phone in the middle of the desert with no signal. Guess what I used the cell phone for?
Flashlight.
Yes. In a release shaft for a mine. Granted, this release shaft was horizontal. It didn't go down.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yep.
So we go in. I was hoping to find, some old tools from the previous miners, because they left a lot of crap laying around, a lot of cans, some bits of equipment here and there rusted away from time, but nothing too useful or interesting. Some structures they left behind, like probably a cooking area, maybe a small blacksmith area, because you'd want to repair all that, your tools and whatnot, on site instead of going, 100 miles to the nearest town.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, this is the 30s in the middle of nowhere in Arizona. You didn't have cars.
Oof.
So we look around, we go in. We don't find much. We go in for about, 200 feet. Turn around, come back out. All the while we're hitting our head off the top of the roof because, we're both pretty tall dudes and mine shaft was low. So we get out and we say, cool, we found it. We see the characteristic black sand that generally contains gold in Arizona. And we leave. We figured it's best not to push our luck.
More than you already have.
Yes, any more than we already have.
I mean,
Tyler, do you want to say something?
yes, but I'm not. I don't want to insult anyone here.
Anyway, we while we were out there on our first day at the claim, we realized, hey, it's getting kind of warm out. What sort of animals come out in the warm?
Coyotes?
Snakes?
Nope. Snakes
In
Arizona.
You're in a mining shaft.
Rattlesnakes. Snakes.
We
Why did it have to be snakes?
We didn't see a snake that day. Instead, we saw our little friends, small lizards about this big that come out to bask on the rocks. We learned to listen to those lizards. And whenever we saw the lizards, we leave.
Very curious. What are these lizards? And
I have no idea. I got pictures of them, but they're
Okay.
just small little lizards that we
okay, so
noticed.
I'm very curious about it.
I'm curious too.
Why?
Why would we leave when we saw lizards?
Yes.
Because if the lizards are out, that means it's warm enough for reptiles. If it's warm enough for reptiles, that includes snakes. If we see the lizards, we leave because we don't want to deal with a snake bite in the middle of nowhere in the desert
With no anti-venom.
With no signal.
with no signal, no antivenom, nothing like that.
Okay.
So we learned very quickly to listen to the lizards because we may have been a couple of deaf idiots in the desert. We weren't complete idiots.
Well, that's good to know.
All right, Lizzie. What do you think?
We learned to trust those lizards very much because those lizards were our friends. They let us know when the snakes would be out soon.
And out hunting.
Mm-hmm. So we leave till the next day. Now that we know where the claim is, we can get our equipment back in there.
So
that's how we transported it in.
You with the ATV?
We whipped up the ATV. Not just the ATV. Several 5-gallon buckets in the trailer on an ATV because we brought a wagon with us that we could hook up to the ATV.
Was there any point in this trip where you were telling your grandfather that we are not at all prepared for this?
He knew because while we were out there, he bought a trailer because we needed it. because we didn't bring one. So we load up the wagon. We drive it in the pickup with the ATV in the bed of the pickup to the road. We unload everything. We get everything loaded in the trailer, and we take off. My grandfather's driving the ATV. I'm sitting in the wagon, bouncing along.
I'm just thinking. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a nice ride. It's a nice, cool morning. Not too hot, but not cold at all. It's just pleasant. You know, mid-50s.
After all, it's still January, even if it is in the desert. I mean,
yeah,
and
not hot.
And I definitely know even if it is in the desert, I mean, it's cold. It gets cold at night.
It does get cold, but it warms up quick.
It does.
So we get out there and we start looking around. We go back into the mine shaft again.
No
we go
hard
back
hats.
in. No hard hats, nothing.
You guys, I worried if you were ever to cross OSHA, Ian.
OSHA wouldn't give a shit. He'd be dead, and I'd be making my way back. Because he even said, while we were out there at the claim, he said, if I die out here, just chuck my body down that mine shaft and make a cross out of this old wood that the miners left behind.
Well, at
And
least
get
he
your
has,
ass out of here.
At least he had his priorities straight.
Yeah. Thank you, Grandma.
Wow. Good God, I think this. All right, how much longer is the story though, Ian? Because we're now almost approaching an hour and a half, and yeah, we probably should have at least let you just gave all of our story time to you.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we're almost there. So we go back out and we start mining. We don't bring a pickaxe.
What you mining?
Because
Wait, do you
we
at
don't
least,
need one.
why do you have it?
We're
Does
not
he have a
digging it.
jackhammer?
No.
Sledge?
No. Instead, we take the sand. We take a bunch of buckets and we just take the gold-bearing black sand and shovel it in, and we take it back to town, and we condense the gold and black sand down into a small vials.
You
Simple.
went through hell just for some small vials?
What's bad is we didn't really find any gold.
I had a feeling. You probably wouldn't. Otherwise, you'd probably be living in a better house. You'd be living in a much larger house.
Mm-hmm. So that's that.
You didn't.
We start
you would
condensing it.
You would use the gold. You would use the gold found in that to expand Lake Tobias.
I'd use the gold if I found enough to build my own facility. You know that, John.
Yes.
Yes.
So after all that, we get some gold. We get some possible gold deposits, and then it snows.
I should be shocked, but we live in Iowa.
Just 50 miles north of us in Kingman, which is a little higher elevation than us, it snows 3 feet. Where we were, we got a few flakes. And apparently people in Kingman, Arizona don't know how to drive in snow because they don't clear off their cars. So they're driving around in their cars with 3 feet of snow on top.
Oh, I do that. I do that too. I mean, it's just kind of.
Just get rid of the windshield and you're good.
It's honestly kind of fun seeing it fall behind you.
It is.
It's also dangerous and illegal.
I don't know if it is in Iowa.
It is in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But regardless, it snows. Eventually, the weather clears up. It all melts. We have some possible gold, and we leave. We didn't find hardly any gold, and we leave. 2 months of my life later. We leave, I have the date marked, on March 1st. We arrived January 11th. Almost 2 months of my life I spent in the desert, either near dying, cactus thorns in my foot, or in my hand because I fell, nearly falling down a mine shaft, getting stuck in the desert several times, getting chased by very angry desert honeybees, seeing tracks of cougars in the desert. That was fun. And overall, just the sheer idiocy and of everything that happened. So we drive back, and on our way back, we stop in Arkansas because there's a snowstorm coming through. So we each got hotel rooms to wait out the storm. That was the first time I slept in a bed in 2 months.
Oh my
I slept on a cot that I had to take down and set up every day and every night.
Oh.
So laying on that nice soft bed in that hotel was amazing.
Just thinking like the next morning when your grandpa's just trying to wake you up, you're going like, yeah,
My bed.
So I wasn't wrong. National Lampoon Desert Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God.
And then 2 days later, after that stay in Arkansas, I'm home. I'm finally home.
Ready to record Alien April.
Not just Alien April. By that point, I still haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
Oh.
Ooh.
I had to see that first, and then we recorded that.
Oh, right.
So after all that, I missed the premiere for The Hidden World. I get back, I watch it, then we record that. And after all that, I still never found any gold.
Oh, man.
2 months of my life in the desert with my idiot grandfather that doesn't listen to me.
Whoa.
And it just, what's weird is those 2 land claims are still in his name, which means I technically also own them.
Oh, great.
So, you know what that means?
They're gonna have to more possible trips with Grandpa.
No, his wife won't let him go back.
Thank you. Oh boy.
This means I'm going back out there myself.
Oh.
Because I have access to them. The claims are in his name, but he says he's just going to give them to me.
Oh, great. So
you guys want to go on a road trip?
I guess, but only if there's like some actual excavation equipment there.
So dirt vacuum doesn't count?
No, it does not count. Let's get that scanning machine that was used at the beginning of Jurassic Park. It's just so we can just shoot a bullet into the ground.
That's not how that works, John.
I didn't. Well, I'm sorry, but I'd rather do that than walk into a mine shaft that could probably collapse with me and us inside, and then we gotta decide who we eat first.
Well, who's the biggest of us?
Tyler.
Sorry, dude.
I would kill you both.
But yes, no, I will be going back to Arizona at some point. I don't know when. You guys are invited. And we'll make a video series out of it.
I don't. Maybe telling that story before asking us wasn't the best idea.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, we're not going to use my Wrangler, are we?
We can't use my escape. I mean, I don't think it even has 4-wheel drive. It's
That
an
thing would die so quickly.
it's an SUV. I mean at best, I think the desert would melt the tires.
Well, keep in mind, we went in the winter.
Oh yeah.
It's cold in winter.
It's cool. It's cool in the winter. I was still walking around in a t-shirt. The coldest temperature I had to deal with out there was like 33 degrees.
Hmm.
So the moral of the story is, do not let your grandmother convince you to go watch your deaf grandfather that doesn't listen to you in the desert with no direction to where you're trying to go.
Lord Almighty.
Oh boy.
And after all that time out in the desert, I never visited the Petrified Forest and I never visited Grand Canyon.
Oh.
Oh man.
Which means I have to go back.
One of my dreams is to let out a loud burp at the Grand Canyon.
Okay,
So-
well, we'll swing by, pick you up, and then we can go out.
So, John,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any other adventures?
I do, but we'll probably have to save them for another time because I think this is now an hour and a half, and
I'm sorry.
I originally planned this to be an hour, but I did not know how epic of a misadventure your story was going to be, and it probably
That could have been its own episode, couldn't it have been?
Tyler, this was pretty much equivalent. This is the Bob's Fridge. That was the Bob's Fridge story for Ian.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bob's Fridge, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It probably was.
It probably was.
But so before we wrap up, do we have any plans, any other future projects coming up, gentlemen?
Like future topics or that?
Well, no, we'll get to that. I'll do the outro for next month. But anything aside from the podcast you guys have coming up?
No, I'm still working. I am still working on my short film. I was taking a break, or i.e. procrastinating a bit to just rest myself, just kind of recharge. And so I'm going to get back to work on that. Trying to think, and also trying to find motivations for more VFX tutorials to write about.
You still haven't done Hiccup's Fire Sword yet.
It can probably be similar to the lightsaber, but it's not too much the same. That could be a fun one. Anyway, but yeah, those are the only projects that I have in mind, other than maybe no, I'll just keep that one to myself.
Ooh, secret.
No, it's just a personal thing.
Oh. Tyler, anything for you? Projects?
D&D. That's it.
Okay. I've just got some educational work coming up that might kill me. Work starting up at the park, which might kill me. And some smaller projects coming up, but we'll get to those. And just, I suppose, viewers, this is Ian Benoit, John Murphy, and shut up.
It happened.
And we're just tune in next month. We will be having a special guest on. You've known my friend Weird Al, and he will be joining us next month to help us review Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, okay. And that, I think it's about time we get to that.
Quick
Well,
question, guys.
Oh boy.
Have either of you two seen the Velocipaster?
I've heard of it. We're staying away from it for now.
I heard of it.
Oh,
We've
come
already
on,
done quite
come on.
We've
It's been compared to
already done quite a
Sharknado.
few. We've already done quite a few dinosaur movies recently. We've done The Lost World. We've done Claw. We're doing Jurassic Park 3, and then Dominion.
And I definitely
That
think
we're torturing John later this summer.
Oh yeah, right, because Dominion. I really don't have any high hopes for that. I was because of Fallen Kingdom, it disappointed me so much. That's really
give it a chance.
That's
John.
really
You
it's
have to
really
give it a
sad
chance.
that it's really sad that that I'm not looking forward to a Jurassic Park movie.
You have to give it a chance, John.
I'll give it a chance. Doesn't mean I'll like it.
And no, by torturing John, I mean at some point this summer we're gonna have him sit down and play Alien Isolation in the dark.
Oh right. Oh right, yeah.
You know,
They just want me to act like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye when I get scared.
are you going to get scared?
Yes, I am. I'm very much going to get scared.
Tyler, should we make him?
I got anxiety, man.
Tyler, should we make him look bad by having him play on easy?
Yes.
Is that supposed to? Am I supposed to feel shame from that? I mean, I'm not a gamer. I don't play games extensively.
Easy, normal, medium, hard, or nightmare.
Yeah. You know, there's a
Anyway.
trophy for beating a game without dying.
Oh boy.
Oh, John's gonna die so many times. And I'm going to intentionally dick with him while he plays it from all the way over here in Pennsylvania.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to let you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Podcast over.
I kind of. Oh, hold on. Before we do close the curtain on this, I do have to say I finally saw Spider-Man: No Way Home, and I feel for that we should probably also dedicate some time to review the other Spider-Man movies, since we've already done the first two ones. So we just got three. We got Spider-Man 3, the two Amazing Spider-Mans, and the other two Tom Holland ones.
6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, John. We've already done 6 movies in a month. You hated it. You were burnt out.
Oh yeah, that's right. We don't have to do it like a month. We could like stretch it over 2.
But anyways, I have to get going.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it for this podcast. I feel like after that. Oh, okay.
He's gone. He said he had to go anyway.
He's bucketed off. Okay, well, I guess we'll do the same. I feel like after that story, I need to sleep.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed my misadventure.
All right. Take care, everyone.